Welcome back. Now, before the break, we discussed Egypt's angry response to the news that Ethiopia has gone ahead and taken a major step towards completing its controversial Blue Nile hydroelectric dam. Well, joining me in the studio, Haisam Hassanein is an adjunct fellow at the FDD, the Foundation for the Defence of Democracy. It's great to have you with us in the studio, Haisam. Thanks for being here. And a very robust response, I think we can say, from Egypt today. Does this mean that the negotiation process is finished now? Will there be no more talks?
Actually, according to the statement that both sides released last August, they said there is going to be a second round of the negotiations this September. But most likely, after the release of the statement by the Egyptian Foreign Ministry today, Egyptian policy is going to be centered around 3 different scenarios in the next couple of weeks. One, they're going to be raising the issue in the United Nations General Assembly, which is going to be starting tomorrow. And I think if President Sisi meets with the American President Biden, he's going to be asking and demanding Washington to help Cairo in such a sensitive situation. A different scenario will be Egyptian embassies all across Europe and international forums and international organizations are going to be lobbying extensively and aggressively for such an issue. And a third scenario, which I think it will be the most interesting one, is Egypt will ask more from the Arab League to intervene and try to help. Cairo would like to leverage the power and the economic leverage of its Arab brothers in Ethiopia. Obviously, this will create some tension between the Arab League and the African Union, because the argument that comes from the African Union is they never intervened in Arab affairs when it comes to development, such in Yemen and Syria. So why big countries from the Arab side are intervening that? And they will try to frame it as it's an internal African matter.
It's hard to see how there could be a compromise. It seems as though Ethiopia is really going ahead with this project no matter what. It's a huge project. They've made this big announcement today. I mean, it's hard to see how they could find common ground here. Is there any way forward?
I think mainly it's going to be about statements for now, but the red line for Cairo, 2 things. If the water amount that they receive goes down, I think this is going to be a big red line for Cairo, because it's going to harm the agriculture sector, because many people are depending on that job-wise, and also the country's economy is depending on that. And then obviously drinking water for the mainstream Egyptians is an essential thing, and the government currently is struggling with many economic problems. So the fact that they wouldn't be able to even supply the public with water, I think this is going to be a red line and could motivate the government to make some unintended consequences.
Well, there is a fear that this could spill out into a real conflict. Do you think there's a real chance of that happening?
I think it depends on how severe the internal situation in Egypt would be, and what's how the public will respond to that, and how the current government will be able to digest that, observe it, or it will have no choice just to retaliate and respond and to save face, and also to offer a solution for an internal problem. And just to mention, according to reports, they say that Egypt on the verge of water drought by 2025. So this is coming very soon. So I think also this is one dangerous thing that Egypt keeps into mind.
This is a very real problem for Egypt, which is a huge country. It's already been dealing with food shortages because of the war in Ukraine. If they're looking at water shortages as well, that could be really explosive, couldn't it?
Yes. As I said, lots of people in the country work in the agriculture sector, and water is the most basic essential thing. So if the government cannot afford giving that to the public is going to revolt, and this is the least scenario that the government wants.
And is Egypt getting Sudan on side as well? We know that Sudan is riven by conflict at the moment as well, but is there some kind of partnership there?
Yes, there have been some talks. There have been some visits reported in the media between officials from both sides. I think Egypt also, I read in the news recently that started resuming flights back to Sudan as a way, even though there is still conflict there, but as a way to incentivize maybe tourism, or by selling, conducting business with them to help them in their hardship. So yes, Egypt is trying to take the Sudanese in its side to lobby for such for the water issue.
Haisam Hassanein, thank you so much.
A pleasure.